something you must question, something you think you can't avoid. It could be all of these depending on your perspective, which is the basis for how big you will perceive any one of these dilemmas to be. We can tell you that the dilemmas are caused by you being overextended. You overextend yourself by wanting too much and having too much. As things get out of control, you can no longer keep up with the demand of the things causing the dilemmas. So, how do you fix it? Where do you start? And where do you want to go? Do you want to accept these dilemmas and live with them for the rest of your life? Or would you like to do something about them and maybe even eliminate them? Since dilemmas are caused by overextension, you must learn how to let go of the things causing the dilemmas. We are not talking about losing anything. We are talking about releasing them. This is a huge difference. People discover that their home has become a big dilemma in their life. They can no longer afford it. They can't afford the mortgage, maintenance, insurance, taxes, utilities, HOA fees, unexpected repairs, and worst of all, it keeps you stuck. The American dream has become a huge dilemma that will not be changing for the better. They keep themselves in this situation because they see themselves as a homeowner. It's the right thing to do. It's what you were programmed to believe, and everybody went along with it. So if you decide to sell your home and not buy another one, would you see yourself as homeless? Of course not. You could always find a place to rent where you felt at home, but didn't have to own it. We see you gaining something and not losing something. If you rented a place near where you work or shop, would you even need a car? How much money would you save by not owning a car? You would no longer have to pay insurance, fuel, maintenance, and unexpected repairs while the car drops in value every year. What if you could walk or ride a bike to work, or even carpool to go shopping and pay for their fuel? You would certainly pay much less than owning an automobile. Does this mean you've lost something? Of course not. It means that you have gained another new freedom in your life. Once you begin looking at all these things you have accumulated through mindless overextension, you will then see how your thinking was flawed before you got yourself in those dilemmas. You create your dilemmas, and you can back out of them just as easily as you got into them while never losing anything. Summary: your dilemmas are all self-made. By eliminating these dilemmas in your life, you are not losing anything. You are getting your freedom back. Your desire to own things has turned a table because now they own you. How it works. People have been programmed to consume. Without all the consumption, the corporations could have never achieved what they have. They have gained tremendous control while you have forfeited your freedoms. With freedom comes your inner peace and ability to do the things that you want to do. It's not about having things, but doing and experiencing things. You won't know how good it feels until you do it. The harder it is to release the things in your life causing the dilemmas, the better you will feel once it's behind you. All right. Hi, everybody.
Let's turn them on.
All right, Ray.
Let's hope the storm doesn't knock us out. It's kind of storming here. Nina, I see Nina. I see your mouth moving, Nina, but I don't hear anything. Hold on. There we go. Everybody on?
Ask if they can hear us.
Can you hear us?
I was saying we've got a big full moon here and all, like the one behind you.
Yeah, full moon time.
No accident, you guys. A full moon and Halloween coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's where we are with this. All right. So
Hi, Joy. Can you hear us, Joy?
Yep, I hear you.
Well, good. And Veronica. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Veronica. All right, you guys.
Dilemmas.
Dilemmas.
Do you know what dilemma comes from? 2 words. I think it's Latin. I should know that since I went to Jesuit high school.
Right.
It comes from the word die, D-I, which means two, and lemma, which means proposition. 2 propositions. So you have 2 propositions. Most of the time, neither one of them is very good. And you have to make a decision about the dilemma.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's a dilemma.
That's why it's a dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
They even have other words for it. They have other words like between a rock and a hard place.
Right. We've heard that.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Or what was some of the other? Oh, catch-22.
That's very good.
And those are all other meaningful words for it, the dilemma.
Right. That's really good. I like that. But good research on that, Ray. So with that in mind, how many times have you guys felt you were at a catch-22? Or maybe you feel like you're at one right now. And it doesn't have to be a possession, a house or a car or, something that you owe money on, or something that somebody owes you money on. But it could be about just making a decision about something that you've had anxiety about. That catch-22 thing, So who wants to start?
I have a new dilemma coming on as I'm going to be a lottery winner tonight.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to skip that. I hit Mega Ball last two pulls.
Mm-hmm. I don't have to win the whole thing. I just need a portion to get.
To get 5. That would be a dilemma, though. What do you do with all that money?
Yeah.
Most people have a dilemma with not enough money.
What would you do?
Well, I already figured out, and first I'm going to take care of my own personal needs and then help people that have suffered through the hurricanes and probably another one coming up, and then cancer research. And maybe some family members and all too. I'll help out a little bit.
So
and get a financial planner and figure out what to do.
Well, you'd never have to invest that much money. You never have to invest it and worry about it making more money, because just putting it in certain things, it would automatically make more money than you could ever spend. Mm-hmm. So that's another dilemma.
That would be a dilemma.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what you don't want to do is you don't want to get caught up in all the dilemmas, distractions, or whatever, and miss your life because you were concerned about how to manage all that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Nina, in reality, you give people money. I've been through it. You give people money and they know you have a lot of money. You could never give them enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They would resent you for any amount of money you didn't give them.
Nah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So it becomes a huge dilemma. Something that you almost want to, I don't know, it's bigger than you think. That's why there's so many.
I guess it would have to come anonymously.
Yeah, and people, I think when people win the lottery and they win a lot of money, the biggest problem is worrying about people stealing it. People ripping them off. You see this lawyer or this investment person or that, and
not for me. It would be. I know how it felt. For me, it would be more about are they my friend because of the money, or are they my friend because of me? That would become complicated. That's where you become kind of incognito, and maybe you wouldn't tell anybody, because that's what ruins your life. It's hard for somebody to not do that. Especially if they're struggling, right? it's not like you could really blame them for it, you guys, but it's just a natural impulse, you know? So anyway, it's just one of the things. What else do we have for dilemmas, you guys? Who else?
I've got a weird one. This is Veronica.
Hi,
Veronica.
Hi. It really is like affecting me right now. I have a little dog. It's a Boston Terrier, and I really love her as a friend and a pet. But maybe it's just because I just moved. I don't know, but I can't. I feel like I have to stay home to keep her company. I think it's a crazy dilemma.
Okay. Well, here's what might be going on. The first thing that hit me when I heard you say it was for the dog's sake, okay? What you're picking up on is you've moved a few times.
Yeah.
And now the dog's kind of going, it's getting a little insecure about, are we going to be okay?
Yeah.
Are we going to move again? So you're feeling some of that in her. You know her really well. So you guys are connected.
Yeah.
So that's what she's feeling. So what I would do is if you were going to leave, what did you do when you left Charlie? And what kind of little setups did you do? You had something in the bathroom that you created this thing where he thought you were still
yeah,
living.
he was always nervous about people leaving the house. He'd tear the house up. When not our house in Austin, but the house in Sedona, where he'd come out there with me and I'd have to go to the grocery store or something, and I'd have to figure out something for him to do to keep him from tearing the house up.
Because he had an insecurity about being abandoned.
Right. Yeah. First time we took him out to that house, and I went to the grocery store. I came back. He had taken his claws and sliced the screens open. He jostled the front window open, one of those crank windows, and then took his claw and cut the screen, jumped out, went down to the river, went swimming, introduced himself to all the neighbors.
What did you do?
What did I do? Well, I made a recording of me taking a shower in the bathroom, and then when I would leave, I'd close the shower door, I'd turn the recording on real loud, and I'd loop it, and I'd sneak out the back door.
That would fix the problem.
That was clever.
Yeah, that was good. So do something like that, because you know what, Veronica, your intuition about your dog is right.
Yeah.
People's dilemmas, it's amazing. When I was doing my research, people have big dilemmas over their dogs and cats and their pets.
Right, absolutely.
A lot of their dilemmas, the biggest dilemmas in their life are over their pets. From do I put my pet down because they're suffering, or do I let them live longer and suffer more, to the older person who says, do I feed myself or feed my cat?
That's really sad.
Mm.
Yeah, or here's a really bad one, is the vet bills. That somebody, where the animal, they love their animal, they love them, and they do everything. They feed the animal before they feed themselves, but they don't have enough money for that vet bill. That the animal needs a little care.
Yeah.
And they can't afford it. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That would be, if I hit the lottery, you guys, that would be one of the things I would take care of. I would take care of older people, not necessarily elderly, but people that don't have the resources, but are awesome pet owners. Awesome. There's, look at all the pets that don't have anybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have it set up where there was a vet that they could afford to take care of their animal, So that breaks my heart, that kind of thing. So that's a real dilemma, though. I mean, what do? Do you just let them suffer? I don't know. That's hard. So Veronica, that's the answer.
Yeah.
That's easily solved.
Yeah, take a shower.
Okay.
or do something, like while you're talking, I don't know, set up a scenario that your dog will buy.
Yeah, they're pretty smart, especially the Boston Terriers. They're real smart.
They're really smart.
I know.
So you've got to set it up and put the recording behind the door, like the bathroom.
Yeah.
And make it sound like the water's running.
Yeah, water's running.
The toilet's flushing.
Singing in the shower,
I'll try it.
And I saw this one guy. This was on YouTube. This was the funniest thing. He had a parrot. And when he left, he was worried about getting ripped off. So he had the parrot, and every time somebody would knock on the door, the parrot was trained to say, "I'll be right there." And they would knock again because the person wouldn't come to the door, right? They'd knock again. And they said, "I said I'd be right there." And he had this whole dialogue where he never repeated the same thing. I'll be right with you. I'm on the phone, you know.
Wow.
And the person at the door is just, it was a friend of his. He goes, "I kept knocking on the door and I heard you talking." In perfect sync with the knocking, you know. So that was a trigger. So there's all kinds of things like that, you guys. It's so much fun. So do we have that solved, Veronica?
I don't know if it's totally solved, but that helps.
Yeah.
I can try that. And
Does anybody else? Okay, here we go. Does anyone else on the set have a suggestion?
Oh, I don't have a suggestion. I'm getting ready to take a couple trips, and I'm thinking the same thing. And what am I going to do? Because we have a codependent relationship.
What do you have, a cat or a dog?
Cat.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, when he was younger, I would always leave him and, you know, alone and all for if I was just going to be gone a few days. But now I don't know, it's been a while and I haven't left in a while.
That's why
I have to start moving.
That's why I had like 7 or 8 cats or 10 cats at once. They all keep each other company.
Yeah.
They don't even know you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually thought about that. Like, oh, I could get another animal.
Do another one. Yeah.
But I don't know, because then you got the vet bills and all that stuff for the other one, and I don't know.
That's like people who tell women after they have a baby, "When you're going to have another one, you know, that one needs another one to play with."
Exactly.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
So that's the dilemma of having someone in your life that you love unconditionally.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always had someone come and stay at the house when I go away, so that the pets feel like they're not abandoned.
Right. That's good. Yeah, how about that, Nina?
Well, I have somebody and all I can have come check on him and all, but usually, you know, when he stays hidden, he'll go under the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because it's not you.
Right, the whole time.
I've had friends that, you know, maybe were couch surfing type friends, and they looked at it as a vacation to come and stay. So I didn't pay very much, maybe $20 a day. And I have 5 animals, so that was really cheap, you know. And then they would stay there and do their laundry and do showers, and but loved animals so much, and it was worked out for all of us, you know.
Right. That really is a great solution. So Nina, how about that? How about something like that?
Yeah, I'll work something out.
And you know, another
if
thing.
He stays hidden, but at least, you know, there'll be somebody there.
And you know, there's all kinds of voice activated machines for your pets when you're gone, or a toy where they hit it and your voice comes out of it, stuff like that.
They have apps now where you hook it up to their food. There's a little camera on their food bowl or water bowl. When they walk up, they can see you, and you can see them, and you can talk to them, and it works off your iPhone.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that part where they would, you know, they would be kind of sad that you're gone and they may not eat as much. When they did come over to eat, the reward would be
there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot of choices with technology now.
Yeah.
So get on the internet, Google, what search term would they Google?
Apps for, you know, pet sitting apps.
Right, pet sitting apps. Or companion apps for your animal.
Yeah.
Something like that, okay? Use those in the search term, and you'll bump into something, you guys, that will get you off the guilt train, you know?
I used to have, on the big screen in the media room, I used to have a video that looped of a huge aquarium, and all the cats would be sitting there watching the aquarium.
We had 2 cats, and we had a screen, and we played this. We still have that video.
Yeah, the nature video where they see squirrels and birds and.
Oh yeah, and they would interact with the TV. They'd jump on it, and I mean they loved it.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff you can do, you guys, and believe it or not, if you find these kind of things, you will find that they're not so codependent on you anymore. In fact, you might walk through the door and they just go, "Yeah, how's it going?"
Yeah, it's you.
That's what you hope for.
Yeah, that would be good.
They're not in trouble. They're not suffering,
Yeah.
But that's good. Leaving your TV on and and it also keeps people away. They hear the TV, the lights on,
Yeah.
it's a good security thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, Joy,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of dilemma do you want to talk about?
Well, I didn't think that I had any dilemmas, so I went ahead and channeled the question that you had, and it came up really similar to what they were saying to you, was to start getting rid of possessions. They said start on the garage and the shed, and so that I'll be ready to move when I have to. I says, well, when am I moving? And they just said, just work on it a little bit at a time. No.
They don't want you to think too far into the future because they see the whole thing for you, for all of you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot tell you how often in a coaching session they come through and they tell people to do exactly that. That's why the guides talked about this thing about, making things into dilemmas. All you need to do is follow your guidance, like what you got, Joy. You got the guidance, right, through your talk?
Yes.
Okay, you get the guidance, you write it in your journal, so you've got a report card, something to answer, to refer back to remember, and start taking it apart one piece at a time, one part at a time, but start walking that way. And as soon as you guys start, you get the feedback, you get the insights, the guidance, and as soon as you start to act on that guidance, just ever so gently walk into it, you're going to start to see one epiphany after another, because you're doing what you need to do. You're going in the right direction. You're following the guidance, and they're like, okay, you're getting this. You're going to find out why you need to sell that stuff sooner than you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ray and I, we started selling off our stuff in 2010 or 9 or 10.
2009 or 10.
And I swear to God, I couldn't believe how long it took for us to get rid of everything. In fact,
7 years.
In fact, just a month ago, we went through another, I call it peeling the onion. You peel it and you peel it and you peel it. And you finally get down to the point where, you know what? Your life, all of a sudden, it makes sense. Things you have are no longer running your life. And what you have is all you need.
We thought we had thinned down a lot of stuff, and we sold over 2 weekends 25 or maybe 30% of our stuff.
Yeah, just recently. Another layer of the onion. And the guides keep telling us, get mobile, get prepared, be mobile. Something's going on, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that?
I've been getting rid of Christmas stuff right now because this is
Great.
the time of year people donations.
Perfect. I mean, they're buying it now, right, Nina? Yeah. So this is how you do it, you guys. Everybody, every one of you, just think about what you don't need. And I'll tell you, as soon as Ray and I, this 30% that we just finished peeling off, and donating, all right? And we donated it to the Humane Society.
So the cats had more furniture to claw.
Absolutely. So it feels so good now. I get up and I actually in the morning now, I actually make the bed. I never had time to make that. I had one thing after the other to deal with, to fix, to do, the project, everything, the emails,
Something's broken on the website.
It was absolutely nuts. And now I feel like I'm finally able to breathe. I'm able to, I don't have things running my life, you know? Yes. So that's how it feels to me. And I just know how it, I said to Ray, no matter how, you know, things work and how things go, I don't ever want to be burdened by all that stuff again. I don't even want it, you know?
Yeah. Most of it's stuff you never use.
It's true.
Like people have a formal dining room and it's full of furniture you never sit on, or a big formal living room. Nobody's ever in there.
It's amazing, you know? Yeah. So it all costs too much. It's like you're a great big house for storing all this stuff.
Yeah. And you have to air condition all those rooms that you never spend any time in.
It's crazy. So you know, guidance is pushing us away from that type of living, that type of thinking and operating, and it's freeing us up so that we can live a life of adventure and experience and helping other people, doing what we came here to do, you know? So that's what it's all about. Clean out your stuff and, you know, and bring down the dilemmas, remove the dilemmas. And then when you see other people having dilemmas, you can see right through it. You can see the solution to it. You can see what they need to do. It's going to be obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's talk about how do you get into them.
And
how do you get into all these dilemmas?
Yeah.
Because of the programming through society and through the television and through movies and your neighbors and the programming you brought with you since you were a child that your parents gave you. And it's like, well, you got to go to school, get a decent education so you can get a good job, so you can make a lot of money, so you can buy a house and, you know, and have all this stuff, when really you don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah. It's just, we have to work ourselves out of the program that we were sold. That's all.
Why do people buy new cars? Because they're told they need a new car.
Yeah. We call that keeping up with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or the other phrase I love, well, how am I going to get ahead? How am I ever going to get ahead unless I have this or that?
Think about that statement.
Who are you trying to get ahead of?
That's an incredible statement. We hear it a lot, don't we?
We do.
We always, everybody hears that. How do I get ahead? And what that really means is you're just trying to get ahead of somebody else. You're not really getting anywhere. You're just trying to get ahead of the guy in front of you and the other guy in front of you. And it's just, and pretty soon you just get worn out and you start asking yourself, you know, why did I do all this? And you have all the wrong people in your life because they want to get ahead too. You've drawn all the wrong energy to you with that mentality, you know? So these are all dilemmas we get ourselves into. Let's let the guides talk about this thing about dilemmas. Now that we've all kind of shared what we're all about with regard to dilemmas and what we're working on, you know? And here they go.
Any dilemma doesn't necessarily have two components. The original dilemma may have had two very undesirable components that you didn't want to make either decision. But nowadays, a dilemma, which meant two choices, may have many choices, multiple outcomes that are all undesirable. So how do you back out of something like that? You have to give something up. If you are in a dilemma of staying in a high-paying job you absolutely hate, or quitting and taking a job that pays less, what do? You ask yourself, in the long run, which decision is the lesser of two evils? taking the lower paying job might force you to establish a more frugal lifestyle. But staying in the job you detest that pays all your bills will certainly cause you more long-term stress and illness as a result. It's the ability of a person to see multiple ways to back out of their dilemmas and then be willing to do the work it takes to follow the right one.
So, you know, it's all about, there's always consequences. There's always a price to pay for the choices that we make. And it all comes down to how much do we value ourselves, as opposed to the stuff that we're trying to, all the stuff we're trying to have in our lives. So that's really what it comes down to. It's just learning to value who we are and why we're here. We're not here to have cars and houses and all this kind of stuff. You can't take that stuff with you. It doesn't have any value in the eternity of our lives, of our existence. So why do we focus on that? We get so focused on the physical, material stuff in this plane, in this dimension, in this world. And this world is not all there is. While we forfeit what's really going on, what's really important, okay? That connection. So the more we fight with this, the more we disconnect from what's important. So that's what we have to realize. And how do we realize that? The only way you're going to realize it is by writing these things down that you're going through on a day-to-day basis so you can track how you're doing. And I want you to know it's all progress. It doesn't matter if you keep finding yourself, you know, in a dilemma after another dilemma after another dilemma. It doesn't matter. When you're writing it down, now you have the evidence of what you're doing. So you've got, it's like, that's the way, the only way you're going to see it and be able to overcome it. Otherwise, it's just all drifting around and it's all happening to you. You know? You can't see it.
And some of these dilemmas are not always materialistic.
They're not.
No, it's like somebody thinks, well, should I stay stuck in my beliefs that I've had for decades and I'm comfortable with them, regardless of what it is, or do I admit, when I hear some new information, do I admit that maybe I'm wrong and then have to take the new information and do the work necessary to change?
Right.
Do I stay where I'm comfortable even though I know I'm wrong?
Right.
Or do I take the new information and do the work to do the right thing, to go the right direction?
Here's a big one, is relationships. When you have a relationship, and let's say you know the relationship isn't going to work. It's not working out. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be a friend. It could be a marriage. It could be a child, that one of your kids. It could be siblings, or it could be parents, or whatever. And it's done. I mean, whatever happened there, it's over. You can't fix it. You can't make it better. They're not going to let you. It's the way they want it to be. So the dilemma is, how do I do this? How do I deal with this? Do I stay here and let myself be abused by it and continue to tolerate this? Or do I follow the guidance? Because what happens, you guys, when you're in something like that, it's so emotional. You know, you're so fogged over. I know from my life, all right, you can't see it, you can't see it. All you have to do is surrender it to the guides. Just listen to the guidance, write it in your journal, see what's coming through, channel your guides, connect with them, listen to what's going on, write down the intuition that's coming through your dreams, follow all this, capture all this, because it's way, way wiser than you are. And it's going to show you. It's going to let you know. And you know, there's something about this. When you get the guidance coming through and it continues to come through in one form or another, you keep seeing it showing up in your writing, in your journaling, you're off the hook. You really are. You're not the one that called the shot on that deal. You paid attention. You watched the information come through. The guidance came through. It continues to say this certain thing. It's a constant throughout all your journaling. You continue to see the same message in another form, in another way to get your attention, because they have so many ways to say that and convey that in different ways to finally reach you, okay? And when you can't deny it, there it is. You're off the hook. It's not like you decided one day to tell them all to go jump off a bridge or, you know, I'm leaving, I'm not doing this anymore. You didn't do that. You followed the guidance. You followed an intelligence greater than we are.
Sometimes, especially with family relationships, you know, your parents want you to do one thing, your children want you to do another thing.
They all have an agenda.
The parents cannot agree with their grandchildren over you. Okay, so if you do what your parents want you to do, you upset the kids. If you do what the kids want to do, you upset the parents. And through guilt and shame or whatever, you don't just have a dilemma here. Two things. You have a multi-lemma. You have look at it, I guess, like you're going down the road, and now you go left or right. You got a fork in the road, okay? If you go this way, you know what's going to happen. If you go that way, you know what's going to happen. And neither one is good. So this is where you literally back out.
Right.
You just back out the way you came, and you get
right.
away from both of them.
That's right. And and when you follow your guidance, you get those gut feelings, you channel your guides, you get the dreams and the intuition and everything. And you keep documenting that in your journal and dating it. There is no way in the world that you can miss it. It's going to be so much better than anything that you would have come up with without the fanfare. That's the best part. Mm-hmm. Without the fanfare, without making it drama and trauma, okay? You know what? The truth is the truth. It is what it is. That's it. There's nothing more. There's nothing to argue with and fight with.
Yeah.
And then you just come to peace with it, and you really handle it well. I mean, in my case, I did. I didn't argue with my family or do anything. In fact, at the end, when I was leaving California 30 years ago, I even told my mom, I let my mom know. I never talked to her, but I called her up and I said, Mom, I'm going to be leaving California and I'm moving to Arizona. And she wasn't, you know, she was surprised I called her more than what I was telling her, all right, because I just stayed away from them. But I took the time to call her and let her know, even if it was difficult, you know. So when you act like this, when you act on this and you get this information that's absolutely true without your involvement, you watched it happen, your guidance has been showing you this, you behave better because you're not all caught up in the trauma and drama of what's going on. You're looking at it like this. Mm-hmm. You're seeing it clearly. You're not sucked in, all right?
Yeah.
So that's how I deal with anything that attempts to become a dilemma. If it has become a dilemma, I have let things slide. I have been avoiding things, not writing them down, not paying attention to them, not remembering my dreams, not connecting with my guidance. If that happens, it's because I haven't been paying attention.
We said before that if you have a dilemma, people tend to shy away from the path that takes the work to do. Okay? So if you have a dilemma where both sides are too much work, the parents are too much work, the kids are too much work, staying at the job is too much work, leaving the job is too much work, staying here is too much work, moving away is too much work. Well, then you have to admit to yourself.
I gotta just take over here.
Take over.
Write in your journal that you're lazy. That you got the guidance. Thank you for the guidance. Always thank the guides for the guidance. But tell them that, but in the part where it says, the part where you take action, just say, I don't feel like it. Or I don't want to do the work. Tell on yourself.
Give them an alternative that's not as difficult.
You could ask for that too, okay? Mm-hmm. But really true north is they gave you the guidance. There it is, all right? And the only thing you have to do is step into it and walk that way. Well, it sounds easy to step into it and walk that way, but sometimes it takes a lot of work. But you know, and we take that, we kind of look at that and go, well, I don't want to work that hard. Well, you know what? You signed up for this life. So, you know, I mean, this is your dilemma. You make, again, it's not a dilemma that we don't make it into. Just, there it is. There's the facts. There's the guidance. That's what it is. Go sell that stuff in your garage, Joy. Just do it.
The guides tell me all the time that I'm lazy.
Do they?
All the time I get that. Okay. Well, why did this thing happen? Well, you were lazy. Poop.
Oh. It's not that you didn't get the guidance, right, Joy?
Yeah.
A lot of things turn into predicaments, you know, or dilemmas are caused by being lazy.
So what was your point there, Joy? You were going to say something else?
Well, you know, sometimes I'll be asking questions, why did something happen in the past? And they'll come out and say, well, you were lazy. You know?
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, I can't go back and change that now, but.
Right. You're more awake now. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's what happens with all this, with taking the action. It's all about taking the action. Connecting the dots. You get guidance, they point you this way, and you go that way. Okay? And then you get guidance again, and they point you this way, and you go that way. And guidance again, and they point you this way, and you go, I don't feel like it right now. Okay, so what happens is when you break the chain, but then you pick up on the next one, what will happen is the outcome, let's say you go ahead and go along with the guidance for the next 3 guidance that you get, and then you pass on the next 2, and you kind of break the chain all the time. By the time you get down the road a bit, you say to yourself, you know, hey, where's the payoff? I mean, I've been following this guidance. I mean, what's the point in all this? Well, when you break the chain along the way, it weakens the outcome. It just does. Huh. You know, we're the one that caused that.
I feel like I have to keep going back and reading the guidance because I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but I don't remember it. Yeah, I don't remember it after I've done the work to channel it and then or writing them the thing. When I go back and read it, it's like reading I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Okay, so the answer for you, Joy, is when you get the guidance and then you write it down, you can't be tardy about taking action. You've got to act on that guidance because you're going to forget it.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of people, it's similar to when people ask their guides questions and then they're waiting for the answer. They forgot the question. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time. It's one of the most common things. That's why you have to write the question down because when the guidance comes through, you will not recognize that as the guidance to your question, the answer to your question. You won't recognize it. You got to write the question down.
Yeah, I do, or I'll forget it.
Well, you know what? You're not the only one. That's so common for people to do, you know, because we're used to immediate gratification. We do one thing, boom, we're on to the next, and we even forgot what happened yesterday, you know? So,
Kathy's been awful quiet. Kathy, do you have any predicaments, impasses, quandaries,
dilemmas,
awkward situations you'd like to talk about?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of anything that's going on currently. The only thing I could come up with is I have a dilemma this weekend on whether to go to my sister-in-law-to-be's bridal party, whatever, bachelorette party or whatever it is, or my grandson's birthday party. So,
So what do you feel? Here, get out of your head. Forget about what you think you might want. What does it feel like here?
I feel like it's more important to go to my grandson's birthday party.
Okay, let's have your guides shed some light on that, Kathy, okay? That's always fun, huh?
Kathy, your new dilemma, whichever path you choose, will be the other one thinks they are not important to you.
So,
Exactly.
see how I did that? I'm not looking for a specific answer. I'm just open. So that's what you do when you talk to your guides, you guys, okay?
So figure out a way to do both.
Okay.
Is
To
there
go to the birthday party and leave early and be late to the bridal thing.
No, you could go to the bridal thing, but tell your grandson you're going to take him out the next weekend, something special, just you and him.
No, it's his birthday.
But yeah, to celebrate his birthday that you were unable to come to.
You could do that. The bridal thing isn't something you can put off. That's what Ray's saying.
Yeah, he's going to have a birthday every year. She's only going to get married maybe 3 or 4 times. Right? How many times have you been married?
3 times.
How many times have I been married?
3 times.
Does that include us? Yeah, that's 3 times. Right?
Yeah. That'd be 6 times.
6 times we've been married.
Thank God. You know how I feel about it, you guys? When I heard this one guy say, he goes, I've been married 5 times, he said. And all in a big, short span of time, like 6 years. He's been married 5 times. And then he stayed married for 30 years. I said, you know what I really appreciate about what you did is you never gave up. And you stuck around.
Cut his losses.
You cut your losses right away. When you knew this wasn't going to work, you just blew right through these, all right?
Yeah.
And then you did find the one that was the keeper.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's a good point as far as the marriage goes. It's kind of hard to get out of that one. But the birthday thing, you could make it into something. How old is your grandson?
Turning 7.
7. That's a really interesting year. That's really a powerful year for a kid.
I'd find something that's going on that he would like a week or 2 after his birthday.
And just say it's not happening the day of your birthday.
I bought some tickets. I'm going to take you to this or that. Something where you
Right.
have fun.
Right. How about that, Kathy?
That would work.
Okay.
See?
Yeah.
Then you get to eat twice. You get to eat at the party and again.
How's it?
Save me some birthday cake.
And have fun with it. Whatever you do when you present it to him, just go, I can't be there for your birthday. However, you make it fun. You know how to do that, Kathy.
A cliffhanger.
Yeah. And say, I'd rather be at your birthday. Your birthday's going to be okay, but your birthday with me is going to be way okay. And then you tell them what you're going to do. So you'll have something to look forward to. Yeah. So yeah, you can handle that.
Yeah.
Then you get to do both. And you don't have to feel guilty about either one.
Well, people can't put you on the spot either,
Right.
Because you went over and above. But a lot of times
there's never just 2 decisions.
Right.
There's always a third, maybe a 4th one.
Right. And between now and then, is that this weekend?
Yes.
Okay. Between now and the fact that we're talking about this right now, tonight, and this weekend, listen for the guidance, okay? And you can channel the guidance, but always listen for the guidance because they're going to give you pointers. Write it in your journal that you'd like to get some feedback on that from your guides.
Okay.
So just give me that feeling. Let me know, what's the most, the best way to move through this. Yeah. Because you're in it, Kathy. That's different than just talking about it tonight.
Right.
But write it down, write it all down. It's all practice to get us really tuned up where we get the guidance, the question or the thought and the guidance, the question, the thought, and the guidance. It's like ba-boom, ba-boom. It just starts to show up all at the same time because the answers are always there. Mm-hmm. That's what prompted the question in the first place. The answer, I'm going to say that again, the answer is always there. That's what prompted that question in the first place. That's guidance. Guidance is coming through. Because you're not getting the answer, you're not hearing it, they're sending the question. Now they've got your attention. So the possibility of you receiving the guidance is now greater.
That's cool.
I know. That's why you have to write it down. You have to write it down. It's all guidance. You hear me keep saying that? It's all guidance. Yeah.
Well, while we were getting ready for this tonight, you said a couple of times that every dilemma you ever got yourself into, you walked right into it. You just didn't create it. And then
Absolutely not.
That's great. It became a dilemma after you made a decision to go that way. To buy a car, to date somebody different, to get a new job. But what happens, how did you feel before you even had that dilemma? What was it like before you had the dilemma? And how did you get to that point? Well, that's where you have to get back to.
Right. In other words, before all those dilemmas existed, what was your state of being? You have to go back to that place where you were connected. It's where you were connected. When you're connected, there's no such thing as a dilemma. There is none. If you're in a situation where it's not to your highest and best good, your guidance will come through and it will let you know that you need to make a course correction. Now, if you put the brakes on and you go, no way, I'm not doing that right now. I can't do that, right? Stuff like that. Well, go ahead. You don't have to. The guides never make you do anything. But the fact that you were given the guidance and you rejected it, it wasn't timely or convenient or whatever, it will come around again when you're in a little bit more pain. They will never abandon you. They will just wait for the next time, and they're always waiting for you guys to be ready. And us too, everybody.
That's why most people won't change. That's why most people refuse to change, is they're not in enough pain yet to change.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
In my case, and I will say this about Ray, in our case, we've been together for 14 years now. That is enough time to really catch on to what's going on, especially when we're doing this work together, But in our case, when something comes up and it's totally not convenient, all right, we work on it. We go right to work on it. We go, okay, our workload's going to get backed up a little bit over here, but evidently it's real timely to pay attention to this right now. So we're going to maybe get an hour less sleep tonight because we've got to pay attention to this and work on this. It's about being connected and excited about the connection, about your life, and about where this magical connection is taking you, you guys. It's way better. It's better than had you planned it yourself. Because we know what that's about. That's fogged over,
You always say nothing ever happens to you, everything happens for you. A good example of recent thing within the last month was this.
Oh.
You were all upset when you came and woke me up that morning.
I wasn't. I was very gentle waking you up that
Yes,
morning.
you were. It
wasn't like panic. I came out and water was all over my desk. And my computer was swimming in a pool of water.
The air conditioner vent right above her keyboard decided to leak on the computer that she just got less than a year ago and absolutely hated.
I did. It was
Couldn't
awful.
stand it. It was a terrible computer, even though it was state of the art 9 months ago.
It was just, they sell you sometimes on a bill of goods, right? Anyway, it turns out that the new computer, it's a couple $1,000s. And the old computer was about $1,500, right?
1,600.
Yeah. And the new computer's like way better computer. This one's great. But I wound up getting this computer for free.
Got rid of the old one. The guys got rid of the universe got rid of the old one.
Because I was cursing the thing. I'm going, I can't stand this computer. And the guys kept hearing me say, and they seen how I struggled. I actually had 2 computers going because the computer I had was so deficient, And I move fast. I work really fast with my computer. And so if that computer can't hack it, I need another one. I need to keep going, And so they saw me going through all this, and they fixed it.
Called up the insurance company 2 days later. She had a brand new computer.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and what's interesting, it was the first time the computer I had that got hurt. It was the first time that I didn't put my data on the computer. I had my data on drives that I plugged into my computer that were off the computer. Okay.
That way she could move it to the other computer without
a hassle.
Without a hassle, because the data is always separate.
But I had a feeling about that computer when we got it.
You didn't trust it.
I didn't trust it. And so had my data been on the computer, I would have lost my data. Bad news. And I didn't,
4 terabytes worth.
And it's been one thing after the other, you guys. We could tell you it's been a whole daisy chain of events in the last month.
Right.
That have taken us in a whole new direction. And Joy, it has to do with being mobile. And they've been telling us for years, get rid of your stuff, shed the stuff you don't need, get rid of the stuff you don't need, be frugal and be mobile. Now, what are they getting us ready for? I'm all in. Ray, we're all in on that deal. It's exciting. Do I know what it is? Not really. I don't really know what it is, but it's way better than anything I could conjure up or force to happen, make happen, right? None of it works if you're trying to force it and make it happen. It just doesn't. So that's where the guidance is. You won't have dilemmas. The only dilemma you might have is, okay, you just got this guidance right now. It's hot off the press. And I've got all this other stuff to do, and I have to do this too? Yeah. You have to write it down, and you have to make room in your life to work on that, so that you fill in the daisy chain. You don't break it. Think of it like that. Yeah. And if you have a solid chain, it's a chain of events that you continue to follow that true north and work in that direction. When you get where guidance has been taking you, it's going to be stellar. You just don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's no dilemma except where we get in the way, where we resist it. What do we have there? Who is that?
Oh, it's Andy. He's trying to get in the picture.
Oh, good boy. So what kind of dog is Andy? Oh, it's your little boy.
Yeah, he's a terrier mix. And
how cute.
Well, bring him up. Is he up there? Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Say hi. Yeah.
And what? Andy?
Yeah.
Hi.
Andy.
Hi, Andy. Hi, honey.
Interestingly, while we've been talking, a dilemma arrived for my son. And I asked if we could channel him because he was offered a job in Tokyo just while we've been talking. And they gave him 3 days to answer. And meanwhile, it's either stay here and work further on research or, take a job. They've wanted to move to Tokyo for a long time. and now he was offered the job. So does he take it or doesn't he take it, you know?
Okay, you just received that information, right?
Yeah, right while we were talking, yes.
Okay, now, what was the first impulse that you had?
For him?
What was the first impression that you had when you got the information?
I'm like, well, they want to do this. I mean, they've wanted to do it for a long time. The biggest concern was his health. He has some major health issues, and it would be on an Army base without a rheumatologist. And but it looks like the Army's trying to accommodate him and get him the care that he would need if he moved there. Okay. And the money's bigger than he thought, and the wife can transfer to Tokyo.
Okay, that's all the intellect, all right?
Yeah. Oh, well, how did I feel?
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to say that I'm like, yay, they're going to go.
That is funny. Okay, everyone else, Kathy, Veronica, Nina, did you guys get a hit on this?
Well, the hit I got is that you had just said, why are they telling me to get rid of stuff? I'm not moving.
Oh.
Yeah. And I wondered if you were going to move too, but
I wouldn't move with them. I would definitely go for a vacation and see all the Orient, you know, but if I moved with them, I would become the nanny of 3 children, and I won't do it.
No, that's really fun.
That's not right.
Okay, anybody else get a feeling about, like, what I'm talking about is, did you get an impression? Not a thought, not something that came from you, but any kind of impression when Joy said this?
I saw the buildings like you see over there. I had an impression of that.
Okay, so what Kathy saw is she saw them there.
Yes.
Okay, that's what she saw. So that's the translation there. Nina, did you? What was?
I agree. That's kind of what I'm picking up too.
What do you agree on?
They're moving.
That they're moving. All right. Okay. Okay. So we're going to let the guides talk. I just want you guys to exercise that knowing.
First impression.
Yeah, it's an impression. It's beyond you. It's not coming from you, you know. So keep working those impression juices, you know. When you hear somebody say something or wonder about something, you're not invested in it. So the feeling you get, the impression you get is usually right, right?
Even if it's about somebody else?
Yes, especially if it's about somebody else. That's why when Joy reached out, all of us got an impression, all right, about what was going to happen. And you guys need to learn how to speak out what that impression is so that you don't feel, all of you basically said, including Veronica, that they're going there.
Yeah.
They all said that. Okay, let's let your guides, Joy, see what they have to say.
In a situation like a job change, especially when a long distance move is involved, you must ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen if I take the job and move far away? And then ask yourself, what is the best that could happen if I take the job? Then ask yourself the last question, what is the worst that could happen if I stay?
So what this does, this kind of scenario where they take you through these different what if scenarios. You write them in your journal. Your son writes it on a piece of paper, Joy or whatever, and works through that whole process. What will happen is he'll work through his logical part of looking at this, looking at it from a reasoning point of view. And then he'll see it all on paper, and then he can sit back from it and go, you know, you kind of just sit back and you just kind of let it go. That's when the truth comes through. Yeah. Because you've exercised your right brain, your left brain. You've got it all. It's like a data dump. You put it all on paper. You've analyzed it. You've gone through your own reasoning. So now you've flushed it all out, and now guidance can finally get through you. Okay, because it's not having to battle through all those what ifs and the reasoning and the logic and the, you know, all you've done that work. So now you flushed it out. You're ready to hear it. You're ready to hear what the guidance has to tell you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's another reason. I mean, the reasoning is good. You've got to work through it, you know?
You know who's going to benefit most from a move to Japan like that? They're the children.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They will have a whole new dynamic added to their life forever.
It's a three-year job. So it wouldn't be forever. It would be short enough to expand their horizons, but not so much that, you know, they're stuck there forever.
To learn the language.
You know, I went to Japan. I was there on a 2-week tour when we owned Sedona Internet. When we were there, the Japanese people were amazing. It made me realize that this is the sad thing to say, but it made me, when I realized I lived in America my whole life. I was born here, right? But I saw our own country for what it was. You know, these Japanese people are amazing people. Their customs and their values are different than ours. And we see how, I'm going to use the only word I know how sloppy we are in America. How sloppy we are. These Japanese are eloquent. They are, I don't mean arrogant. I mean, they're humble and they're beautiful people. I mean, they're amazing. So when we came back to America, I didn't want to come back. Imagine that. I was only there 2 weeks. I was like, this whole culture made sense to me. And who knows, maybe I had a past life there.
I got that right away.
I did too.
That I had a past life there.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they're beautiful people. So it's a really good place for the children to be influenced while they're children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are they?
5, 6, and 10.
Perfect.
Oh, it's easy.
5 and 6 especially, and 10. Yeah. It'll take the redneck out of them.
Well, and we got a lot of redneck down here in Mississippi.
They're going to flush some of that out. And really, it's the opposite of our culture, if I could say that. You know.
They'll learn the language. They'll learn martial arts. They'll learn discipline for their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not hard to learn Japanese. There's a bunch of little 2-year-old Japanese kids over there who speak it fluently.
Yeah. Well, my son speaks Japanese. He was stationed there in the Navy. And
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Joy, that sounds good, Joy. Yeah.
Well, it's something they want, you know.
And you know something, Joy? There's something that's going on with you when your guides told you to start selling some stuff in the garage. Start there, you know. Just start getting rid of this stuff because they want to move you along in some way. You don't know what it is yet, but take those first steps. Start moving that way and acting on it in even the slightest way to get the juices moving, you know. And you're going to see results. You're going to get insights and guidance that you never ever. You're going to be amazed at what comes through because you took the action.
I listen to them because, you know, if I finally achieved being able to communicate with them, what kind of person would I be if I didn't listen to them after I wanted this for years and finally got it?
Well, you know what? You're ready. That's what's different about you now is you've gotten, the kids are going to move on to, you know, to doing that. your husband, he crossed over not so long ago. You've been being released of a lot of stuff. Now you have to finish releasing the stuff, just the stuff that doesn't matter, just get rid of it. And so that you are free to move on to where that is, okay? Don't miss that.
Yeah.
That's what this has been all about. So, and that's true for all of you, you write it down, and there is no dilemma. Once in a while, we resist it, we fight it, or we don't know if we should go to the birthday party or the wedding. We kind of, but if we think about it, or the pet, our sweetheart little pet, how do we take the best care of them and live our life too? We work it out. We figure it out where everybody wins.
Yeah.
So if we make dilemmas up, it's because think of it like of a dilemma like the pets. Okay, we really need to pay attention to those guys and make sure that they're in good hands. When we go somewhere, not if. No, there's no if. You go and you just make sure you've got that all shored up over here so they're in good hands. There's always a solution for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys. All right. So how about this dilemma thing? Did we work it out? Do we get this now?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Now, what I did you guys notice on the insight today, the ones that went to the insight, at the end of the insight, I put something at the end different. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did I put in there, Joy?
I'm thinking right now. I remember seeing it, and it was, gosh.
That's okay.
I remember it, but
I'll help you with it. The comments. I have an image there of a woman looking down.
yes.
And it says, how exactly did I say it? We welcome your comments, first of all. It's an alternate ending to the insight, all right?
Like the alternate ending to a movie.
Right.
Oh,
And
how fun.
You want to know how that happened? You want to know why that's in there?
Yeah.
I'm working on the insight and getting it ready to launch, for it to go out when you guys, on Tuesday. And all of a sudden, it comes to me, boom, it just drops in, guidance. And I walk over to Ray's desk and I go, Ray, you're not going to believe what just came through. Check this out. And what came through is they said, put in for the comments about what the alternate ending would be. You know how I put in there how it works? There's the insight, and then there's the summary, and then there's the part where it's how it works, and that's what I write, And we said, we want to hear about how they think it works, and it would work in their life, right? So they said, we want an alternate ending. It's an alternate ending, like Ray said, it's like a movie. You watch a movie and you go, well, that's not the way I would have ended it. Okay, so after tonight, after we've all talked and shared and fleshed it out, how would you, what would be your alternate ending? And how do you imagine this insight actually working in your life? So when you go back to the, you'll find it, when you go to the website, you go to lindadeir.com, you click on the blog, it's in the menu, you click on blog, and it'll take you to the blog, all the blog posts. It's the one that was just published, the first one on the page. Click on it, open it, and go down and leave your alternate ending about how you think you can imagine this insight working in your life going forward and what you learned from this today. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that and what this will do each time. This is another way of getting your writing juices flowing. In fact, I wrote that in there. You just get used to interfacing with the guides. See, the guides came through with the information. That's all channeled from the guides. And you're responding to them, to the insight. Okay? And yeah, I responded to it, but now it's your turn to add that value in there about how you feel about it. And that starts to make, you start to engage and you start to communicate with them. Okay, so that's getting those juices moving, okay, those writing juices moving. Okay, so before Ray and I go ahead and do the closing message tonight, I'm going to just talk about next week, Tuesday, next week, October 30th. Watch or interact with us right here on Zoom. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights is where you will receive the link to join us to talk to your guides, us, and to the group. 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. To be published next Tuesday morning in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights. The guides will talk about a spiritual pit stop. Here's how a daily 15-minute spiritual pit stop will clear up your life. When a Formula One car driver takes a pit stop, it's a high-speed coordinated process that is over in seconds. Everything the car needed to continue the race is attended to by a precision pit crew team who each does one thing as quickly as they can. In seconds, the car and driver are ready to re-enter the race. A spiritual pit stop is not that quick or easy. When you take a spiritual pit stop, it is also intended to by a crack team of specialists, your spirit guides and angels. They are all specialists in what you need at the moment.
Well, that sounds pretty interesting.
You can imagine what that's like when you've seen these Formula One races where these guys come in and they tear the wheels off the car and they slam them back on. And
gas the car up.
That car hardly stops before it's off and running again. That's you. That's you guys. Every time you let your guides come through and you listen to the guidance and you write it down, that's your team of specialists. When you take that 15 minutes to sit with your guides, that 15-minute timeout, that pit stop, okay? The pit stop doesn't take 15 minutes when you're a Formula car racer, okay? But in your case, it's a 15-minute stop. Joy, you take more like an hour now, don't you?
Yeah, 39 minutes to an hour. 39 seems to be something that happens frequently.
And how about the rest of you? What's your pit stop every day now?
It's usually no longer than 15 minutes.
Good, Kathy.
Mine is 15 minutes, but I got, and I know you've said it before about really get moving and breathing ahead of time and even dance if you want.
Right.
So last night I got that same message from a different place. It was a YouTube video I was watching about a near-death experience thing about dancing will like clear you out so that you can receive.
Right.
So for 20 minutes. So last night I had done it for 15 minutes and then I watched that and then I danced for 20 minutes and did it and they were very happy.
Hey.
Yeah. So I'm improving and adding more time.
See, this is what's working for Veronica is getting that exertion going and that free feeling in her body. So it's lightened up. And so the guides can come through, you know?
Yeah, they were happy.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
And how about you, Nina?
I think that's what I need to do is move and breathe, and I'll more before I do that.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So whatever it is that gets you physically moving and loosened up, you know, that's your pure spiritual pit stop where you take that time for yourself. Now, if you don't get any guidance in the moment that you do that, do it again the next day and do it again the next day and just continue to connect the dots. Keep the daisy chain going. Keep the consistency going. It's all about consistency and practice. And before you guys know it, you in these spiritual pit stops, these 15 minutes, these 39 minutes, you know, that whatever time that is that feels right to you, that's your time with your guides so they can reach you and really have an impact on your life and you will see the difference. You already know. You guys have been doing great with this, and you're moving along with it greatly. Okay, I want to ask you guys something. You guys were going to get together, Kathy, Joy, and Veronica. Did you guys get together on Veronica's Zoom?
It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. When you guys get together and you do what you do, Veronica, think about if it seems okay to go ahead and put your video up on the group, on the Ask the Universal channel group, and talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Linda, you wanted us to put a comment too somewhere, and I couldn't remember where that was.
Okay. What it is, and I'm going to tell you so that each time we do one of these, you'll know exactly where to go. You just go to the lindadeir.com website, and in the menu, the navigation, you just click on blog. It'll take you to the blog roll where all the blog posts are. And you'll see the one that went up most recently. And that one's the one we talked about today. That's the one on backing out of your dilemmas. Okay? So
click on that one.
And click on it and then go to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom, where it says leave a comment. And that's where you're going to leave your alternate ending. I can't wait to see what you guys write. I'm serious. Is that going to be the coolest?
It's going to be the coolest.
So, Ray, will you write an alternate ending?
I already have.
Did you do that already?
Yeah, I wrote an alternate ending to my life.
No, but you didn't do it on the blog post.
No, but I did it for my life.
Okay.
I married you.
Oh, you're such a lucky man.
I am.
He's great. Ray, I'm lucky too, you guys.
Yeah. Hey,
okay.
I just wanted to say, Nina, you're more than welcome to join us also on Wednesday if you want to.
Okay, and what?
I can message you on the Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
From the group. Okay.
Thank you, Veronica. That was great to bring that up. Good. These guys are setting something up that I think she missed it last week, right, Veronica?
Yeah.
We talked about it. Yeah.
So we didn't get to invite you, but it's not an exclusive thing at all.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of. You guys are a pretty tight group.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah.
It's important what you get with the channeling with the group of you, but what's more important is let what the others see that you got out of it personally. How the camaraderie went, what you're learning from each other,
Right.
Yeah.
And how you help each other, how you know better how to help each other now. You really do. So
Nice.
Great, you guys. I look forward to those alternate endings. It's so much better than saying, leave a comment. The guides came through, they said, no, alternate ending. And I said, he goes, oh, I like that, It's like, he's always, every time we watch a movie, Ray will go, that's not how I would have ended it.
Well, plus I can always say that's what they're going to say before they say it.
He knows.
Word for word.
He knows. I just look at him, I go, Ray, did you watch this already? When I wasn't around? And he goes, no.
They're just so predictable. They're so weak. It's like, they're so weak all the way through the movie, and then they get to the end, and it just stops.
I know. Have you noticed how poor the endings are on movies now?
What?
How poor the endings are on movies?
Oh, I don't watch a lot of TV.
What
You guys are sidekick, Linda and Ray, okay?
Yeah.
You know how things are
you
gonna
guys, this is what this is. The alternate ending thing is to get your writing juices flowing,
Yeah.
to make that connection, and it just comes out,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Linda says, well, how did you know what they're going to say? I said, well, that's the way I would have written it.
right. And so that's what it's about. It's about bringing that part of you out, so that you get used to it. It becomes normal to you. And then writing in your journal is a no-brainer. That 15 minutes turns into 50 minutes. I mean,
39 minutes.
Yeah, 39 minutes. Okay, you guys.
Final message?
The final message in today's, what is it called, Ray?
Backing out of your dilemmas.
Right. And Here's their closing message on that.
We want you to remember one thing. A dilemma is just an opportunity to make a better decision than the one that got you into it.
Ooh,
That's good.
that is. Now, when you put your alternate ending on this blog post, on this insight, that'll give you some momentum for that alternate ending. Because nowhere in any of this did they say that until right now.
I thought that winning the lottery was my alternate ending.
That's your retirement plan. You know, Powerball or Mega Millions. Or... It's going to look good on your resume, Nina. Lottery winner.
Let's hope not. I mean, I don't mean that you do. I hope you don't win it. That's not what I mean. I think if you
I hope I don't put that on my resume.
No, you would not want anybody, messing up your life, interrupting you and causing dilemmas.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't need dilemmas. But when you start looking at, when you guys start clearing up and keep clearing up and getting clearer about what's really going on in your lives, you're going to start to see other people caught up in their dilemmas and just go, oh, the solution is so easy.
That used to be me.
I remember when I made it into something it wasn't, when I made it complicated, and I can see clearly, and that's when you know that you're getting better, is not when you judge somebody. It's not about that. It's about identifying when you see them caught up in it, you go, oh, well, the answer is easy. But then you still can't interrupt them unless they ask you for it, right? Because then you're butting in, and then they won't hear you. In fact, they may even get angry with you. So you've got to learn how to deliver that. But they really have to ask you. Most of the time, they won't. They'll just keep on going like this, just like spinning around. Not getting anywhere. And one day they'll get in so much pain that they'll be coming up to you, grabbing on, crawling along the ground and going, oh, please help me. They'll be ready. Can you visualize that one, right?
These characters you see in Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Next week. Is that the day before Halloween?
Next week?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh,
right?
is it?
The date, that's when we're going to come and
We're
we're
going
going
to do something special for Halloween.
You guys. So we're going to bring our mask for Halloween.
Oh.
I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea what Ray's going to do.
Who might show up?
Oh, no. You can put her up. You can put that one up for the screen share.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
Ray's got this. It was actually the year before we got married.
The year we met. Not too long after we met.
The year before we got married. And it was Halloween, and Ray dressed up in this outfit that's just crazy. And he won all the prizes. He won 5.
I was an old stripper trying to make a comeback. And it was just, people didn't even know who I was. The only one person recognized who I was because they recognized my voice.
Right.
But I had this huge fat suit and big red wig, and Linda did my makeup, and I had the boas and the feathers and the gloves and army boots and the white stockings, that the old ladies roll them up halfway, those.
He's going to put the picture up.
I will put the picture up
as a screen share before we get live, so you guys can laugh until we get up and running.
Yeah, and I did win everything. I won $500 cash, all kinds of prizes and tickets and
There had
gift
to be,
certificates.
How many people were there?
Oh, I bet you 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah, there were a lot of people. And he won everything.
I won.
Except.
Well, yeah, I won best costume, most original, funniest,
scariest.
I didn't win sexiest. fact is, I was so upset because she cheated. This young thing showed up as a very amply endowed topless belly dancer, and I said, "You are cheating." She brought a whole male contingent with her too to cheer her on. But in the end, at the dance-off, I beat her.
It was too much, you guys. So funny.
I sense that you're a little bit competitive, Ray.
I am. I'm a Leo.
You guys bring your fun with you next week, okay? Whatever feels fun for you guys. And I'll look forward to those alternate endings and how you guys do tomorrow night. On
Okay.
Cast Universal Piano Group. Whenever you get around to putting it up there, Veronica, I know with me, sometimes it takes a day for them to render it. I got to get the thing together and put it up. So it might be the next day, but I'll look for it maybe over the weekend. Or
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. It might be a little technological learning opportunity.
I know.
So you know how that is. But
I sure know. Yeah. So you guys, we'll see you guys next Tuesday and Thursday.
All right.
All right.
Ooh, before and after Halloween.
Before and after.
all right.
Yay.
All right. Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.